expansion bracelet, and it could be yours. Percy's eyes, wide as twin supernova remnants, stared at the chronoglyph. And you're offering it for purchase? Oh, I could never afford an expensive chronoglyph like that, Mr. Sly Silas's smile didn't falter. Why not? Friend, you've just been paid, haven't you? Percy's chest puffed up slightly. Why, yes. Just got my credits. High in the world. You know that feeling, don't you, mister? Well, being an ex-serviceman like I am, Sly Silas lied effortlessly. You just kind of feel it in the cosmic ether. How about it? Son, wouldn't you like to have this chronoglyph for your very own? Percy shifted from foot to foot. Well, I'd like it very much. But a chronoglyph like that wouldn't come within my budget, I reckon. You see, I've got my family allotments, and I've got to buy my grav mat slippers. And I've got to get a present for my Aunt Bethany's biopod harvesting festival. No, it's impossible. I could never afford an expensive chronoglyph like that. Sly Silas chuckled, a dry, rustling sound like scales rubbing together. Wait a minute, son. How much do you think it costs? Percy squinted at the shimmering chronoglyph, trying to recall prices from his limited knowledge of space mall advertising. Well, it's got to be at least 12.95 credits. Sly Silas blinked, a flash of surprise rippling through his reptilian eyes, quickly masked. Only 12.95 credits. Golly. That's right, son. Sly Silas quickly recovered, his voice oozing sincerity. 12.95 credits. And that includes sales, flux, and a lifetime quantum warranty, including parts and labor. You'll never have to worry about this chronoglyph ever again. Percy's jaw dropped. Thank you very much, mister. But I just couldn't. It wouldn't be right. You can't. Sly Silas scoffed, feigning indignation. Percy's brow furrowed in confusion. Huh? Cheating myself? But I don't want to cheat nobody. What's your name, son? Sly Silas inquired, stepping closer, his hand resting almost imperceptibly on Percy's shoulder. PFC Pippin, Percy clarified. Percival Pippin. My name's Silas. The merchant introduced, a charming, albeit artificial, smile now fixed on his face. Sly Silas, the serviceman's pal. Now, let me tell you something, Pippin. Sir, in all my cycles in business, catering to brave men and multi-species in the armed forces, I've never felt such a rapport with a customer. Imagine, worrying about my profit. Take the chronoglyph, son, please. Percy's head spun. He was being offered a gift. Essentially, a magnificent chronoglyph, for almost nothing. His Hickenlooper Prime upbringing had instilled in him a deep sense of fairness, and an aversion to anything resembling an unfair bargain. Oh, I just couldn't, Mr. Sly Silas. As much as I'd like to have it, I just wouldn't enjoy it knowing how I'd taken advantage of you. Sly Silas leaned in, lowering his voice conspiratorially. Well, look, son. Would you feel any better if I told you I was making a little something, just a tiny bit? You are practically giving it to me like you are. I didn't see how. Well, Silas explained, spinning a tale as old as interstellar trade. Once in a while, one of my suppliers gets a hold of a piece of merchandise, perhaps from a slightly too hasty reacquisition event, or a cargo manifest mix-up during a recent meteor shower. He has to unload it in a hurry. You know what I mean? Oh, sure. Percy's face brightened with understanding. You mean he's overstocked? Sly Silas paused, taken aback by the unexpected but perfectly accurate interpretation. Overstocked, unhung. Exactly. He practically vibrated with relief. Back home on Hickenlooper Prime, Percy elaborated, at the hydrofuel station. Sometimes, we'd get overstocked on atmospheric filters. And then we'd have to run a clearance event. Just had to move 'em. You know. Yeah. Whatever you want to call it. Son, Sly Silas interjected, eager to redirect. This is the opportunity of a lifetime, and it'd just break my heart to see you pass it up. My poor supplier. He's practically tearing his scales out worrying about this surplus. Percy chewed on his lip, his inherent kindness warring with his innate Hickenlooper caution. Well, if you really feel that way about it, Mr. Sly Silas. How else can I feel? Silas urged, thrusting the chronoglyph into Percy's hand. Take it, please. Just think of the joy it will bring, and the weight lifted from my conscience. Goodness, Percy breathed, admiring the sparkling chronoglyph. Well, here's the credits then. He fumbled in his utility pouch, extracting a few shiny tokens. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13 credits. You can just keep the change for your trouble, Mr. Sly Silas. Sly Silas deftly plucked the credits, his smile widening, genuine triumph glinting in his eyes. Well, thanks, son. This has truly made my cycle a humanitarian endeavor, if I ever saw one. Percy, still admiring his new acquisition, suddenly remembered something. Mr. Sly Silas, about that lifetime quantum warranty. Sly Silas paused, mid-shuffle away. A lifetime quantum warranty. Yeah, what about it? Well, Percy pondered, for what you charged me for the chronoglyph, I reckon 10 or 15 stellar rotations would be more than fair. You shouldn't have to warrant it for my whole life. Sly Silas just stared at Percy for a long moment, then slowly shook his head, a reptilian sigh escaping his lips. A very happy afternoon to you, PFC Pippin. He turned and melted back into the shadows, a faint jingle of credits accompanying his departure. Back at the barracks, Captain Beau Montgomery was still wrestling with his paperwork when Percy burst in, a whirlwind of boundless enthusiasm. Captain Montgomery, sir, a very happy afternoon to you. Beau jumped, nearly knocking over a precariously stacked pile of personnel reports. What is it, Pippin? I'm trying to catch up with this paperwork. What do you want now? Oh, I thought I'd just stop by and kill some time, sir, Percy explained, taking a seat uninvited on the edge of Beau's Durasteel console, narrowly missing a sensitive data input port. Well, kill it somewhere else, Pippin. I got to clear all this up before I can get out of here. Beau gestured wildly at the desk. So beat it. Well, maybe I could pitch in and help, Captain, Percy offered, already reaching for a I got plenty of time. Beau smacked his hand away. You got your pass. Go into Astrohaven, catch a holoflick someplace. Just get out of here. Right, Captain. Percy sprung to his feet. But before I go, would you happen to have the right time? Beau's eye twitched. Why don't you just clear out of here before I assign you to sanitation duty on a neutron star? I'm sorry, Captain, Percy said, looking genuinely contrite. I just wanted to show off my new He held out his wrist, the gravitonium chronoglyph gleaming under the harsh barracks lights. Beau blinked. Huh, you're new. My new chronoglyph, that's right. You hadn't seen it, have you? Percy thrust his wrist closer. Let me see that, Pippin. Beau snatched Percy's wrist, yanking it towards his face, his gaze narrowing. You don't have to worry about dropping it either, Captain, Percy prattled on, because it's guaranteed shock-proof for atmospheric re-entry. Beau scrutinized the chronoglyph, his brows furrowed. And it's also hydroproof and vacuum-proof, Percy added helpfully. Gravitonium, huh? Beau mumbled, turning the chronoglyph over in his hand. You mean this is really Positively, Captain 8 carat, with 21 crystals to boot, and it's hydroproof, vacuum-proof, Percy beamed, radiating pride. Beau's eyes darted from the chronoglyph to Percy's guileless face. What did you do, Pippi? Blow your whole credit allocation on this. Guess what it cost, Captain? Just guess. Percy was practically bouncing on the balls of his Beau let out a cynical chuckle. Well, a gravitonium chronoglyph like this should cost at least 100 credits. Easy. Percy giggled. You're just a little bit off, Captain. You mean you paid more? Beau's voice climbed. No. Then what in the cosmic void did you pay for it? Beau roared, his patience already stretched thin. $12.95 credits. Beau dropped Percy's wrist as if it was suddenly aflame. $12.95 credits for this chronoglyph, including sales flux and a lifetime quantum warranty. Percy confirmed. Do you think I got a good deal, Captain, for a chronoglyph that's shock-proof? Good deal, Beau seethed, his face turning a shade of purple usually reserved for dying nebulae. Pippin, how in the name of the Starstone Council can anybody sell you a gravitonium chronoglyph for $12.95 credits? Those were my feelings. Exactly, Captain, Percy readily agreed. So I asked Silas. That's Sly Silas. He's the fella that sold it to me. And he explained it to me that his supplier was overstocked from a slight USD reacquisition event, and he had to unload it real fast. Overstocked, Beau thundered, slamming his fist on the desk. The paperwork shivered. Pippin, when it comes to brains, you're understocked. In fact, You've got the lowest inventory of common sense on the entire encampment. Huh, Percy tilted his head, genuinely confused. Look, Pippin, use that cranial unit of yours for a minute. I Gravitonian Shronu, glyph selling for $12.95. Credit has either got to be a phony. Percy's eyes widened to alarming proportions. Hot, you don't mean that. It is.